You're lying in bed. The lights are off. Somewhere in the house, a floorboard creaks. Your whole body goes still. Your ears strain toward the sound. Your heart picks up before your mind has even decided to be afraid. You tell yourself it's nothing. Probably the house settling. But you don't move. Not yet. You wait, eyes open in the dark, for a sound that doesn't come again. You already know this feeling. You've had it 100 times. But the real answer for why it happens is far stranger than the house is old or you're just jumpy. Your fear of the dark isn't a glitch. It's not something modern life accidentally installed in you. It's a piece of ancient hardware, built over millions of years, and it is still running exactly as designed. Here is what almost nobody tells you. For most of human history, the dark was not empty. It was full. Full of teeth. Full of eyes that could see far better than yours. Full of predators built for exactly the hours when your own vision failed. Your ancestors did not evolve on a lit street with a locked door behind them. They evolved on open grassland, at the edge of forests, in a world with lions, leopards, hyenas, and snakes that hunted at night specifically because human eyes are useless after dusk. Think about that for a second. Every other advantage your species had, the tools, the planning, the throwing arm, all of it depended on being able to see. And the moment the sun went down, that advantage disappeared. So what did evolution do with a species that was suddenly blind and vulnerable every single night for hundreds of thousands of years? It built fear. Fast, automatic, impossible to argue with fear. The psychologist Arne Öhman at Sweden's Karolinska Institute spent decades studying exactly this kind of fear. He ran experiments showing people images of snakes and spiders flashed for a fraction of a second, too fast to consciously register. And still, people's bodies reacted. Sweat response, heart rate, fear, triggered before the thinking brain even caught up. Öhman called this prepared learning. Some fears, he found, aren't taught. They're preloaded. Your brain doesn't need a bad experience with a snake to be afraid of one. The fear is already sitting there, waiting, written in by a few 100,000 generations of ancestors who didn't survive the ones who weren't afraid enough. Darkness works the same way. You don't need to have been attacked in the dark to fear it. You just need ancestors who were. Here's where it gets stranger. You'd think evolution would want fear to be accurate, precise. Only fire when there's a real threat. But that's not how it works, and there's a reason for that too. The evolutionary psychiatrist Randolph Nesse describes this with something he calls the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector that only ever goes off during an actual fire is not a good smoke detector. A good smoke detector goes off constantly. For burnt toast, for steam, for nothing at all, because the cost of one false alarm is annoying. But the cost of missing one real fire is death. Fear works the same way. It is tuned to be wrong, on purpose, constantly, in one direction only. 1,000 false alarms are nothing. One missed lion is everything. So when you freeze at a creek in the dark, you are not being irrational. You are the living result of a system that decided, over millions of years, that it would rather make you jump at nothing 10,000 times than fail to make you jump the one time it mattered. Your ancestors who laughed off strange sounds in the dark. Some of them were right, and some of them were not around long enough to have children. You are descended from the nervous ones. All of you are. Now here's the twist nobody expects. The dark wasn't only a threat. It became the birthplace of something else entirely, because your ancestors found a way to push it back. Fire, not just for warmth, not just for cooking, though that mattered too. Fire changed what happened after the sun went down, and it changed it completely. The anthropologist Polly Wiessner spent years living with and studying the hoansi people of the Kalahari, one of the last hunter-gatherer societies to preserve something close to that ancient rhythm of day and night. She recorded their conversations, what people actually talked about, and when. During the day, she found, conversation was practical. Complaints, gossip, economic disputes, who owed what to whom. But at night, around the fire, everything changed. The topics shifted almost entirely to stories, myths, distant relatives, shared history, imagination. Daylight was for survival logistics. Firelight was for culture. Wiessner's theory is striking. Firelight may be one of the reasons humans became the storytelling species. Once fire pushed back the predators, the dark stopped being pure danger. It became the one part of the day with nothing left to do but talk, imagine, and connect. The circle of light around a fire and the wall of darkness just beyond it may have shaped how human minds learned to bond, to teach, and to dream. The very fear that darkness built in you is the same fear that once pulled your ancestors closer together, shoulder to shoulder, around a flame. So think about what you're actually doing tonight. The lights go out, but the screen doesn't. You lie there in the dark, and a small glowing rectangle lights up your face, the same way firelight once lit the faces of an entire tribe. You're drawn to it the same way. You can't quite look away, the same way they couldn't. But the stories it tells you are not the ones around a Kalahari fire. It doesn't tell you where your grandmother grew up, or the myth of how the stars were scattered across the sky. It tells you what's wrong with the world, what you missed, what you should be afraid of next. You built a fire that never goes out, and instead of pushing the predators back, you handed it the microphone. Somewhere in your house tonight, a floorboard will creak, and before you've even decided to be afraid, some ancient piece of you will already be listening, the same way it listened 100,000 years ago when the dark outside the fire was the only real danger left.